So good morning all of you. So in our last class we studied the collection interfaces, and then we saw few examples of how to use the queue. From today we shall discuss the collection classes. So anyway, the interfaces has to be finally implemented by any of the class to actually see the execution. So the standard classes are listed over there. You can see, and these classes are not synchronized. Okay, so the synchronized versions are also there. The various summary of the classes that are there in the collection interface is present. The abstract collection. So this particular class implement most of the collection interface. Abstract list. This extends the abstract collection and implements the most of the methods that are there in the list interface. Then abstract queue, it extends abstract collection class and implements the queue interface. So collection is the base interface. So collection is being implemented by the abstract collection. Then using abstract collection, abstract list, abstract queue will respectively implement the list and queue features. Then abstract sequential list. So this extends the abstract list where it allows the sequential access rather than the random access of the elements. Then the linked list. This particular linked list implements the linked list by extending the abstract sequential list. Then array list. This implements the dynamic array by extending the abstract list. Array DQ. This implements the dynamic double-ended queue by extending the abstract collection. Also, it implements the DQ interface. Then abstract set. Again, it extends abstract collection since abstract collection is a base class for all the collection objects or collection classes. It implements the set interface. So it will, all these classes will extend this abstract collection, one of those in the hierarchies, and then implement some or the other interfaces. Then enum set, this will extract abstract set along with enumeration numbers. Hash set extends abstract set along with provides hash table. Linked hash set extends hash set to allow insertion order iterations. Then we have priority queue. So priority queue extends the abstract queue and it supports the priority based queue operation. So tree set implements the set sorted in a tree by extending the abstract set. So next, these are the summary of the classes. In addition to these collection classes, there are several legacy classes are also present, like vector, stack, hash table. So they have been re-engineered in the support collections. So next we shall see the array list class. The array list class extends the abstract list and implements the list interface. The array list is a generic class, which means we can create an array list on any type of the object. So just like how we implemented a queue in our last class, so just like that we can create an array list of basic data types, or we can create an array list of classes itself. Here we have the constructors of array list. So array list supports the dynamic array. So dynamic array means so it can grow as and when needed, which means there will be no limit on the size of this array list. Whereas in the standard array, there is a fixed length, which we need to define while we declare the object. But in array list, so we can just create an array list and keep on adding the elements. So array list can grow or shrink. So depending on how we add the elements and remove the elements. And it is the most predominantly used data structures in most of the applications. So almost all Java programs, real world application, they use array list. because of the flexibility that is provided in the array list. So array list is a variable length array of object references. So when we store the object in array list, it is the reference that is going to be stored. And array list can dynamically increase or decrease in the size. So array list can be created with initial size also. When the size exceeded, then the collection will automatically gets enlarged. The various constructors through which we can create array list is shown there. The three constructors are there. The first one is the empty array list. The second one is the array list built by any of the collection. So we can pass a collection itself. Then whatever elements are present in that particular collection gets added into the array list. And the third constructor, it builds a array list with the initial capacity. So capacity is the size of the underlying array list that is used to store the elements. So here remember, this is just a initial capacity. The capacity will grow automatically as and when the elements are added to the array list. So here if we declare array list of 50, it indicates initially we have planned to store the 50 elements. So till we add 50 elements, its size will remain the same. When we add the 51st element, then the size will get increased. So if we know in advance what is the possible number of elements that we are going to have in the array list, so we can declare it, so that on each adding of each element, the expansion of memory will take some time. So that can be avoided if we have any idea of the capacity in the beginning itself. So next we shall discuss the various methods. So we shall execute and see the output also. So now we shall create a array list. So again, whenever we want to use these collections, so we need to import the utility package. So because all these collections are present in the utility package, so we must import them. So in all our programs. So declaration of array list will be like this: array list. Then in the Angular braces, we need to specify the data type that this array list is going to store. So let us create an array list of strings. So we have passed the string. We can create an array list of any class. So you can create an array list of student class or person class, employee class, anything like that. So we can declare it as AA is equal to new array list. Here also we must mention the data type. So array list of string, then followed by the constructor statement. Like this. Array list string with this constructor calling. So now an array list AA has been called. So initially we can print its size also. So using system.out.println. So how to obtain its size? So we can call it as initial size. Yes. So we can print the size using the size method. So AA.size. So AA.size is a method to print the size of the array list. So we will add the package also. Util.star. Then here system. So we got the output, that is initial size is 0. Next we can keep on adding the elements. So the method to get the size of the array list is size. So in order to add the element, so it is add method, a dot add. So we can add the elements over here. So let us add two elements. After adding them, so let us try to print the size once again. So this add method, this is small a. You can observe the size is now 2. So this is the add method. So another way to add elements is by explicitly specifying the index. So explicitly we can specify at which index position we want the element to get added. For that purpose, so we can call the add method, but the first parameter we can pass the index. So index position, one we can specify. So this is another overloaded version of the add method. So once we add elements into the array list, then we can print the contents of the array list itself. So you can observe the output. So the size is now 3 after adding an element by specifying its index position. So we can print the contents of a array list by just try to print the variable itself. So if we put AA, so we can say contents with a message. So contents of the array list will be printed. So which means we can display all the elements that are present in that particular array list. So you can observe the contents over here, contents that is. So it is mentioned within the rectangular bracket, JNN, SMG, CSC. So you can observe the order in which we add, but SMG is indicated by the index position 1. So index starts with 0. At the first index position, SMG is present. So when we print the array list, it gets converted to string. That is, by default, it will call the toString method. If we print a array list of objects, then on each of those objects, toString method will be called, and a string representation of that particular object will be displayed here when we print it using the println method. If we want to remove any objects from the array list, so we can simply use the remove method. So remove method, for this remove method, we need to pass what element we want to remove. If we want to remove the CSE, so we can remove like this. Once we remove it, so we can once again print the contents of that particular array list. So you can observe that CSE has been now removed. Again, in remove method, there are again two variants. Either we can remove by explicitly specifying the object itself, or we can remove by specifying the index position. The same remove method we can call by specifying the index method. So let us pass the index as 0. So you can see in the first remove statement, the CSC will be removed. And in the second remove statement, the object that is there at the 0th index, that is JNN, will be removed, and we are left with only SMG, that is the content of the array list. So in this particular example, the contents of a collection are displayed by default conversion provided by the toString method, which is again inherited from the abstract collection. So this version of toString is not sufficient for the programs where we use the real world collection objects. So although capacity of an array list object increases automatically as the object are stored in it, we can increase the capacity of the array list object manually by calling the ensure capacity method. So we have one more method, that is ensure capacity. Let us remove these statements. A dot ensure capacity. So here we can pass the capacity of the array list. So ensure capacity. Here capacity is the new capacity. So this will unnecessary reallocations of memory will be avoided if we use this particular ensure capacity. Now the array list will have a capacity of 10 objects. So till we reach 10, the memory will not get altered. So which means in the beginning itself, so 10 memory will be allocated for this array list, so that every time reallocations will be costly. When we say costly, so it is the time that takes to reallocate the memory, so that we can be avoided. Similarly, we have one more method to do the reverse process. So we can reduce the size of the array by calling a method, that is a dot trim to size. So this is the method, trim to size. The large number of items are there, so we can trim it. So we can reduce the size by calling this particular method. So these are the basic methods that are present in the array list. When we are working with array list, so we will sometimes require the array that contains the content of the list. So we can convert the array list to a normal array by calling some methods. So why we need arrays is because we may want to do faster processing of certain operation, and we may pass array as a argument to some methods. Then to integrate the collection based code with the legacy code. So if you have written an older version of the function that has array and not the collection array list, then we can convert this array list into array. So converting array list to array is a trivial question. So there are two versions of toArray. So one is, so we can convert it into a object array, or we can convert it into a specific array. So in the same example of the string, so let us see how we can convert it into a string array. So if you want to convert it into a string array, first we should declare a string array like this, string array str. So when we create a string array, we need to specify the size string, and its size will be aa dot size. Okay, so now we are calling the aa dot size method that will return the size of the array list and that many array locations, so we can create for a string. So this is the declaration of string array. Then for this string array, we can call AA dot to array. So we can call this particular method, that is to array. But here what happens when we are converting it into a specific type of array, that is the string array. So string is means we are converting an array list into a specific data type. Then we must pass that string also as a parameter. So where it must get stored. So AA dot to array, this array also we must pass as a parameter. Then that array we can pass. Okay, anyway, we are printing the contents of the array list itself. Or what happens, we can just iterate over this. So we can print this str array. It will just print it as an array, or we can specify the particular index or loop over that particular string array and print all the content. So see, if you print, it is just printed java.long.string. So instead we can specifically print by passing the index location. So let us give 0th as the index. Then the 0th element in that particular string array will be printed, that is JNN. So in the array list, it is JNN is the first one. So we have that one. Okay. This is one way of converting. So other way is instead of converting it into a string, we can convert it into an object also. When we are converting it into an object, this parameter is not required. So same thing. So we can write like this: object, new object. Then this str is not necessary now when we are converting it into an object. So you can see once again the result is same. So if we are converting it into a specific data type, then we have to pass that array also over here. So if we are converting it into an object, then it is not necessary. So this is the working of the array list class. So how to add an element, removing an element, and then converting an array list to a array. So you can practice these programs. So either you can directly run it in Eclipse if you have, otherwise we have many Java online editors where you can just type and execute these and check the output. In our next class, so we shall discuss the linked list class. Again, linked list class, it is similar to this array list only, but some other additional methods are also there, like get first, get last, peek first, remove first, like that. So all those methods are there, so which you can use. So we shall discuss the array list in our next class. So you can enter your attendance in the chat and exit.